Hello and welcome to another update for Big Picture, this time 8.18. Yes, we are already there, and it's a pretty interesting update, not a huge one, so if you missed it, no worries at all, you're probably okay. But there are some very interesting things, features, and changes that have been added to the tool to make our lives better again. So we love Big Picture as always, and we are going to show you all the things that changed in the version 8.18 in this video, which is, by the way, part of our effort to deliver high quality learning and training materials inside the Atlassian ecosystem. And if you want to support our effort, you can consider subscribing to the channel to get notifications about the upcoming content. And also, of course, we do offer paid services in this area. So if your company is, for example, looking for a new tool for project management inside the Atlassian ecosystem, we are there to help. So reach out to us. The contacts are in the description of this video and probably somewhere on the screen as well. And we will be able to talk about how we can help you get through this journey together with us. And we provide training, consultation. We have lots of experience with implementing those tools, with going through the change process, helping users deal with all the obstacles on the way and boosting the adoption of everyone in a company, be it with Big Picture, as this video is all about it, but also other project management tools like Structure, for example, like Tempo apps. So we are specialists in all of that area that is considered project management. Now, back to Big Picture and version 8.18. The changes in this version of Big Picture are a little bit all over the place, so I will be visiting several different places, different modules of Big Picture. The first one we're going to start with is the Gantt chart. And on the Gantt chart, I'm going to talk about milestones. So you can see one milestone over here. Basically, it's a task that has been transformed by Big Picture into the milestone. And for a very long time, milestones were treated as one-day-long tasks, which doesn't really make much sense because milestone should be a point in time. It shouldn't have a duration, and it being one day long gave it a duration. Now it is actually a point in time. So if I select the milestone over here, you can see that this task is connected with this task through the milestone with two dependencies. And there are no additional working days between those two tasks. So there is a weekend over here, but no additional working days. I can even try to move this task. Okay, I can't because the parent is probably stopping it from moving. But we can clearly see that milestone doesn't add any new duration to the whole chain of tasks connected with dependency to one another. So that's a really good thing to have. The next thing that has been added is the velocity chart report that is available in the reports module in Big Picture. By the way, it's only available with Big Picture Enterprise extension. So if you're wondering why you can't use this, that's probably the reason. On this chart, a new blue line has been added, which represents now the velocity of the team. And this line, when you create a chart, you can check whether you want this line to be on the chart or not. I don't have enough good data on my instance to show a decently good chart for you. Therefore, I'm actually using the one that they provided in the documentation with the changes. And you can clearly see that this is the blue line, and you can also have values on this blue line showing you what is the velocity of the team for every iteration that we have down here at the bottom. In this case, we can clearly see that it's dropping down, but I'll leave it to the product owner or the Scrum Master to figure out whether this is something to worry about or not. Coming back to the Gantt, one more thing that might be interesting from the Gantt perspective, but it also applies in general across the whole tool. So for example, also in the scope module, it will have the same effect, is that in some cases, users will not be, for example, able to edit some tasks that are available to them as view-only tasks, for example, inside the, let's say for now, the Gantt module over here. So of course, moving the bars over here on the Gantt will not be allowed for them. Editing those tasks will not be allowed. But the big question is, are these users able to change the hierarchy of those tasks over here? So, make the child, put the task in a different spot inside the hierarchy, right? Like this, for example. Or maybe move a task as a child of another task like that. And the answer to this is that if automatic rules that are connected with additional Jira fields are not engaged over here, then the users will be able to do that. But if there are automatic rules and moving the task would cause a change as an edit on the task, then it will not be allowed, because maybe you don't know it, but BigPicture can be synchronized with additional custom fields on the level of Jira. So for example, if you move the task from one product increment to another product increment, a value in a product increment text field could change, so that you have the reference and the information about this in Jira. It's a very useful feature to have, but of course, in this case, if such updates are enabled inside BigPicture, the user who cannot edit the task, the issue, will not be able to move it also in a hierarchy, because that would automatically result in editing the task, but it's not allowed for the user, hence he cannot do this. Moving on to objectives. So I'll jump into the objectives module, which is not here, but that's not a problem. We will switch to our Agile project and we will have objectives right over here. There we go. And inside the objectives, now you can also attach, I mean, you could previously also attach to your objectives some Jira issues, but now those Jira issues also have the status visible over here. So you can clearly see what's the status of those issues that are supposed to be contributing to realizing certain objectives. I love this module. I love this module. Every time I visit this, I'm always smiling and trying to figure out how to get more customers of ours use this amazing tool that allows you to manage the company's goals and team's goals by objectives. Love this one. If you're not doing this, definitely give it a try. The next change is connected with the share option. So the share option will be available here, and you will notice that if I switch a module to a different one, I can still share this view with another user. And the share option has been expanded for several versions already in BigPicture. And now what's been added is that when you share the link to another user, to whatever you're looking at, this link will include it already includes several different options of configuration, so that whenever someone uses the link and comes to this place that you're looking at, of course, you want the person to see what you are looking at, right? So new things have been added to the sharing option, and these new things are zoom in and zoom out. So if you, for example, zoom out as far as possible and share a link like this is what the user will see as well. And also the position on the timeline will be remembered by the share link, so that the user sees this part of the Gantt chart and not this one, for example, where there are no tasks, right? So a small improvement, but very, very useful. And now I love the next one. The next one is a killer. So if you go to the overview module, in the overview module, you could have been adding additional fields already previously. And there are certain types of those fields. One of those types is a select type field. So it's like a single select, single drop down, right? And now you can assign colors to the options that are available in that drop down. And what that means is that you can do cool things like this, for example. So I created just a custom drop down, and as you can see, now the values in that drop down are like labels, right? I can choose whatever I want from over here. Of course, these names are just custom names that I provided, so you can have something connected with budgeting, for example, over here, with team association, with whatever is needed, with themes that the boxes, for example, are connected to. But then you can also add colors to it. So of course, that also suggests that this might be a pretty interesting feature to be used for any kind of statusing, right? So of course you have status of the box over here, but maybe you're also tracking the status of, I don't know, budget, for example, or the status of customer happiness, right? So then color coding those values will be very, very useful. And the last tiny thing, let me move on to the board module. Now inside the board module, very similar to what, for example, is available in the Gantt module, you can now go over here and manage scope definition. So that's like a shortcut for all the users to use. So if you want to quickly change the scope definition of the box itself, of course, you need to have proper access rights to be able to do that. But if you have and you want to do it quickly, you don't have to go into the configuration of the box anymore. You can also do it now from the level of the board module. And that will be all basically. So as you can see, those changes are not life-changing, but some really interesting and important improvements that have been made in 8.18. So all in all, we are again very happy with this progress, and we are cheering on for BigPicture to keep evolving in the right direction as they always do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in one of the next videos.